Makwidiri. I'm with Salam Media, the organizers of today's event. I'll be one of the moderators and MC of today's debate. We're very proud to be in your town today with this vibrant Muslim population. It plays host to this pivotal event, and our theme tonight, as it has always been during our election broadcast, the lucrative Muslim vote. It is a theme that underscores the importance of every voice, every perspective in shaping the future of our nation. In a country diverse as ours, where unity is our strength and diversity is our pride, the Muslim community represents an integral part of our national fabric. Tonight, we seek to engage in meaningful dialogue, to listen to the voices that often go unheard, and to understand the aspirations, concerns, and hopes of our Muslim brothers and sisters. We are here to facilitate a town hall debate between South African political parties, all of whom are vying for your support in the upcoming elections on the 29th of May, 2024. This debate is not just about political rhetoric or party affiliations. It is about the issues that matter most to each and every one of us. As a born free, I stand here with a deep sense of responsibility to ensure that the dreams of our forebearers, the sacrifices of our ancestors, and the aspirations of our youth are honored and realized. It is forums like this where ideas clash and visions collide that the true essence of our democracy thrives. So let us engage in spirited yet respectful debate. Let us challenge each other's perspectives while recognizing the dignity and humanity of every individual present here today. Let us remember that in the end, it is not just about winning elections, but about building a better, more inclusive, and more prosperous South Africa. With that being said, let the debate begin, and you can give yourself a round of applause for participating in a democratic process like this. We're going to start with a dua, a short prayer, and this will be rendered by Sheikh Salim, who can join us on stage.
I'm getting confused on what to pray on. We can all pray. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the master of the day of judgment, you alone we worship and you alone we seek for help. Guide us towards the straight path, the path of those whom you have guided, and not the path of those who have gained your anger. As we enter into the election season, we ask for you to grant us tranquility, to grant us peace, to grant us unity, to unite the hearts of the people of South Africa so that there won't be any violence. We turn to you, O Lord, at this very moment, that for those that are going through oppression, you grant them ease. For those that are suffering, you make it easy for them. And for those that are going through this very genocide that we are seeing on the television, we ask you to grant them victory. And for those that have sent ambassadors to stand for those that are being oppressed, we ask you to grant them victory. And at the very injuncture, we ask you to bless each and every one of us present here today and make this debate to become a success. In the name of the Lord, we turn to you. Amen.
Next, I'd like to call upon our COO, Mr. Ponti Muletsane, who's going to be giving us a few words and tell us why we are all here today.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, Jimelang. We'd like to thank the community of Erasmia and Lodium for the warm welcome, especially after our partner organization, Pretoria Muslim Women United. Last time Salam Media was at this the same venue was when we hosted Dr. Metz Gilbert, and this was after Shifa Hospital in Gaza was bombed. And we remember how many people came out in their numbers for that event. We are grateful for that. As Salam Media, we believe that Muslims have a duty to be fully active in improving society. And one of the ways of doing this is by participating in the elections. Salam Media is a portal for humanitarian journalism, and a platform which amplifies the voice for the voiceless. Through our team of dedicated individuals, we have been covering elections since our inception back in 2016. We are streaming tonight's event. You can watch it on our YouTube page, Facebook, and on Lodium Today Facebook page. We'd also like to thank everyone who have gathered here, our party representatives gathered here as well. And we hope that this event will help you make an informed decision come the 29th of May. Since there's different parties gathered here, we'd like to appeal to you to exercise tolerance among each other. And South Africa is a very democratic country. It's all about giving one another a chance. Our moderating team this evening, as we had Selailo Makwidiri, is one of our senior producers and a host of a program called News and Views on Wednesdays. And also we've got a lady, a very highly qualified lady by the name of Mariam Juma, our timekeeper, Mariam Abubakar here as well. So we wish all the debating party reps the best. Thank you so much.
Just give him a round of applause. That's my boss, guys. So just okay, no. All right, with the formalities out of the way, we're going to begin with today's proceedings. This is in no particular order, but it's going to be from left to right. I'll call upon each of the party's representatives to come on, give their opening remarks, and then we'll ask one question after that. And then the next representative of the political party that I'm going to call upon will, come onto the podium also and give us their opening remarks and so forth and so on. And the first one is going to be the Sun Party, Mr. Rashida Gata. All right, so there's going to be 2 minutes for the opening remarks. And then our timekeeper here, her name is Miriam. Green means go. Red is your time is up. So let's keep that in mind.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Good evening, guests and fellow candidates. Wake up, South Africa. Wake up to the reality of this current pandemic of inequality, poverty, and unemployment. For the last 30 years, we have seen this country degenerate into such a state that it is no longer controllable by the governing party. The Sun Party, Sizwe Uma Nation, has the solution. It is a return to God-conscious leadership and a guaranteed economic recovery plan which has been tried and tested all over the world. And that will transform the society into an equal and just society. I'm very angry because on the campaign trail, I have been going to marginalized areas and village areas to witness the depravity of the situation. People are living in shacks, and when they open the taps are running dry. All they require is a borehole. When you ask them, what else do you need? They don't ask for land. They don't ask for housing. They want their dignity back. They want employment. And we have the answer for them. We have the structural reform to implement within the first 100 days in office to genuinely transform this country into a more equal society. You see, the mineral wealth in this country, the mineral resources are being exported in its raw form to places like China, who have developed their societies into highly industrialized countries.
All right, let's come down. Let's come down. Let's come down. Yeah. No, we can't. We did extend an invitation to Action SA, and unfortunately, they didn't have any representative who would be able to join us. But we're not here to take questions. We're not here to take questions. We'll be communicating with the political parties that are here. So one question for AM4C. There's been an increase in new Muslim political parties. Why choose to, the Sun Party? There's been an increase in political parties, new political parties, particularly targeting the Muslim vote. Why not join the existing ones, but deciding to start the Sun Party?
The Sun Party is not a Muslim party. It is founded on God-conscious ethical values. There is a decay in the moral value in the society, and we aim to restore that. The reason is that in 2019 and 2021, most people, South African people, have lost hope in the democracy, and they decided to stay at home. More people stayed at home than voted. So this time around, we lifted our hands to contribute to positive change in this country by offering a tried and tested, guaranteed economic recovery plan that will transform this country and the people into a better society than what they found it in.
Okay, thank you. Up next, Councillor Alex Christians from the Democratic Alliance. Come for your 2 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's quite interesting that when we start this debate, we were told we will do it with respect. But clearly those who are about to lose power do not have respect. It was rather disappointing as a Muslim when I walked in here to have a fellow Muslim come and call you a kuffar immediately. And that is a shame, because if we are going to rescue South Africa, we have to be united and we have to stand together. That is why there is one principle in the DA manifesto that will stand, and that is to stamp out corruption.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, can we give the DA, no, we're not taking questions. Can we please give the DA representative time to speak? If you don't allow him to speak, what if your representatives also allow not to speak? Please continue.
So the first thing is to stamp out corruption. And that is exactly what you see here. Corrupt ANC people will not allow you to speak. Why? Because they know that when the DA takes part of this government, we will create more jobs. We will reduce crime. And ultimately, Islamic values will be put in place. Why? Because you are emotional. Your emotional ignorance is clearly showing now. That is why you will shout and scream. But we know the DA is the only party that can rescue South Africa and free them. Because you know. So if you want peace, there's only one way. So if you want peace, you should be voting for the Democratic Alliance. Jazakallah.
Let's settle down. Let's settle down. Settle down. Let's settle down. Let's settle down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's settle down. Let's settle down. Let's settle down, or we're going to be here the whole night. No, we're not taking questions. Let's settle down. Let's settle down. All right. Everyone back to your seats. Back to your seats. Back to your seats. We have to move on with the program. Go back to your seats. We can't continue with the program while you're being rowdy. All right, we want to continue with the program. We want to continue with the program.
You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. What are you doing?
This is a democratic process. Everyone has the right to speak. You can disagree with his views, but you can't stop him from speaking. Okay, let's settle down so that we can move on. Let's settle down so that we move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is supposed to be a democratic process that reflects the best of our country. All right. Okay, moving right along. Please settle down so that we can continue with the program. All right, up next, Al Jama representative, Councillor Tapelo Ahmad.
Takbir. 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 Free, free Palestine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, comrades. Thanks for the protection. Should I start? Oh, thank you so much, colleagues, comrades. I want to quote from the Prophet, peace be upon him, before I can commence my speech. He says, "Kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulan ra'iyatihi." So each one of you is a shepherd, and each one of you is responsible for the flock that you oversee. It is important for each one of us who's sitting here, including the audience at home, when we go to the ballot, we need to do the right thing because we are responsible for our own actions. And your responsibility starts with you as an individual, and it starts with you as a voter. We have a very good track record as Al Jama. Since the inception, since we were established in, we are 17 years old now. We are a political platform for all communities. We are leading the biggest metro in Africa. And some of us, or some of you who are sitting here who are booing today, they were also given an opportunity to lead, but they failed. However, so thank you so much. So we have a very good track record. We are a trusted political party and trusted by both those who are supporting genocide. Because when they wanted to constitute government in the city of Johannesburg, they approached us as Al Jama. They said, you are a formidable party on principle, so we would like to work with you. So this is very important for us to also reiterate. And on my left-hand side, we were also approached. Thank you.
No, I think you can move on with it. All right, up next, representing the African National Congress, Fasia Hassan. Let's settle down. Can I please have representatives of political parties? Can we talk to our guys? Because otherwise we won't move. All right, let's settle down, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can continue. Fighters, high morale. ANC, high morale. Thank you. High morale, high discipline. Let's settle down, guys. Your leader is also going to come up. They're not going to let him speak. Can we respect each other's views and respect the democratic process, please?
Amandla! Away to free Palestine! Free Palestine! I know it's easy for them to boo because all they do is destroy municipalities. They do not look after our areas. They refuse to admit when they are wrong, and they actively support genocide. So I am not shocked that when the truth is spoken, they must boo. As the ANC, we have 30 years of a strong foundation. We have a strong manifesto. But our biggest victory is liberating even these ones who are booing. Because this freedom came from the African National Congress. And we will continue this fight. We will continue bringing lights. We will continue bringing water. And more importantly, we will ensure that the fight for Palestinian freedom is won, not only at the ICJ, but the world over. Minister Pandor is currently at the ICJ fighting. And we will ensure that no matter what happens, we will not back off. And we will continue serving the people of South Africa beyond the 29th of May, because you deserve better leaders than this. You deserve leaders who listen to you, and you deserve leaders who have a track record. You deserve leaders who are accountable. You deserve leaders who are transparent. And most importantly, you deserve leaders who invest in the economy. We have created over 2.5 million jobs for South Africans in this country. We have, through President Ramaphosa, 1.5 trillion rands in this current economy. But most importantly, we have continued to restore the dignity of the black masses, and we will continue to do that even post the 29th of May. Thank you. I'll end with this. I know the truth hurts, but the reality is the ANC are better governance partners than the DA on any day.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is not why we are here today. We are not here for that. We are always criticizing our leaders in parliament, but we are doing the exact same thing today. How are we different? Are we tlhompeng batho ba baholo? Can we come down? Can we? Can the next speaker come along and give them time and respect? Can we do that? All right. Rise Mzansi, represented by Irfan Mangera.
Assalamu alaikum to the community today. Let me also greet the non-Muslims here. Namaste, Vanakam, Khoya Ant. South Africa is in a state of emergency, and we are at a crossroads. Do we break from the past? Do we break and be held ransom and be prisoner to history, bad governance, perpetual inequality and poverty and corruption, and a culture of politics that brings us this, an immaturity in our politics? Or do we renew our commitment to democracy and to the will of the people to ensure that the people truly govern? Do we renew our commitment to each other, a commitment to real and substantial freedom with new leaders and new ideas to usher in a new and just economy, communities, families, and individuals where well-being is at the center point, where access to water and sanitation is not a pipe dream, where electricity is available and cheap, where food and the 20 million South Africans who are food insecure have enough to eat every day. And so we ask that the South African people rise up for something new and break away from the past that is holding us ransom. Thank you so much.
Up next, I'd like to call upon the Allied Movement for Change, represented by Inaid Wadi.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Well, up front, I want to thank Salam Media because normally I would be standing on this platform where I've hosted and I've chaired many a political debate. It actually feels quite strange standing here. But if this is about the lucrative Muslim vote, we are mistaken. Because every vote in this country is lucrative. We have 27 million registered voters out there. And this is the reason why we, as the AM4C, are not an exclusive Muslim party. We recognize the diversity of the country. We even recognize the fact that the South African Muslim community is no longer the traditional Indian and Malay Muslims. But we also believe in the principles of ethical leadership. We believe in leadership that is accountable because the reality is blatant. South Africa is in ICU. We are on life support. And tonight, we are not only here to talk truth to power, we are here to implement the truth. We are talking about ethical, fearless leadership that is bold, that is courageous, that is knowledgeable, and that is honest. And as South Africans, we are at the crossroads of this election. This election is going to be a watershed moment, and it's going to be a make or a break election. We have lived far too long. Palestine is one issue, but within this country, we have lived far too long with corruption, with fraud, with bribery, with irregularities, institutional weaknesses, gaps in legislation, toxic leadership. All of this is going to have disastrous consequences for this country. And this is the reason why we, as the Allied Movement for Change, have within our leader, Ahmad Manzoor Sheikh Imam, who is fearless.
Last but not least, I'd like to call upon the economic freedom fighters, represented by Godwin Ratikwane.
Mandla. Free, free Palestine, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine, free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea, from the river to the sea. Thank you very much. I feel very offended, colleagues. I feel very offended, colleagues, because we are. I feel very offended, colleagues, because we are sitting here today with people that are supporting a murderous regime under the umbrella of Israel. The EFF is very clear and is going to support the state of Palestine to make sure that it establishes its own independent state. The EFF will make sure that Jerusalem will be the capital city of Palestine, just to make sure that the people of Palestine get their dignity back. We cannot sit here as South Africans and treat Palestine the way that it is like it's a non-issue. We had a very serious problem in South Africa with apartheid. What is happening in Palestine is exactly the same as what has happened in South Africa in terms of apartheid. We also need compensation for the people of Palestine. We must ensure that the embassies of Palestine are closed in South Africa, and we must make sure that the people of Palestine are freed, even if it means that South Africa must provide ammunition to go and free the people of Palestine. Let it be done, because America is doing it without a shame. Why must we sit there and be told about AGOA and other niceties that we believe they are going to benefit us? If you really love South Africa and you recognize that South Africa was in the same position as Palestine, you will not blink when we speak about Palestine. You are going to stand with those people through and through. They are displaced and they need our support. On land, comrades, people of Palestine, they've taken their land the same way as us, where we don't have land. Amanda.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be moving on to the next round of today's proceedings. We've had opening remarks by the political party representatives. The next round is going to be facilitated by my co-moderator, Miriam. She's going to be coming up stage. First and foremost, she'll give us the lay of the land and the importance of why we should be voting. And then the next step, she'll be engaging with the leaders of the political parties, asking them various questions regarding, the South African political landscape and how and why you should be voting for them in the upcoming elections. Miriam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to one and all to this discussion on the Muslim vote. Our sincere thanks to all the political parties represented, and please be aware that there are other parties who were invited to the discussion but declined the invitation. So here we are, the Muslim vote. Are we going backwards? Are we going back to ethnocentric, theocratic delineations of who we are? Are we not South African? Did we not pass the threshold of being the Indian voter and now find ourselves as being the Muslim voter? When I thought about these questions, I had to consider the fact that the South Africa that I grew up in is no longer. And I can say, alhamdulillah, that when we say the word Muslim, the image of samosas don't just come up immediately. That is normally what used to happen. You'd be considered the Indian stereotype. Now we have a dynamic, diverse Muslim community from every ethnicity, multiple languages. And it's this demographic that's actually going to be not just decisive in the sense of the particular areas in which they are, but would also lead us in terms of our moral compass. Because you see, the Muslim vote should not necessarily be confined to Muslims. It should be for all those who have a conscience, for all those who share the principles of true equality and justice. And in just under 2 weeks, 27 million registered voters are expected to make their way to the polling stations. in what I can't believe is already our 7th democratic election since 1994. Now, the outcome of these elections are far from predictable, as we have new parties and for the first time, independent candidates who will also feature on the new 3 ballot paper system this year. The excitement around elections has, however, waned with every successive cycle. We ask ourselves, to what extent is my vote relevant? Or in other words, why should I even bother? Well, for one, the right to vote results from decades of sacrifice in blood and tears. But more urgently, we need to consider the alternatives to not voting. How are we then to impact governance and participatory democracy if we are not directly engaged with the process itself? We need to find collective solutions for all the myriad of issues that face us, which is actually the reason for this discussion this evening. This is an opportunity for you to ask those questions directly to party representatives and hear their positions on the main issues. We will therefore be asking each party representative 3 questions one question per round under the title of service delivery, the issue of Palestine, and the Bella Bill. Those 3 questions, as much as we understand they're not the entirety of what your thoughts would be around the election, but those are the 3 main topics that we've identified as being of most burning in the Muslim community. Each party will have 2 minutes to answer per round of questions, and our timekeeper, Miriam, will once again indicate when the time is up. I thank you. Okay, so we're going to start now from right to left. The first question to be posed, and we will begin with Mr. Gutta from the Sun Party. And the first question we're asking this evening, it's a multi-layered question actually. And the first one goes, what would you do to fix and upgrade water and sewage infrastructure and clean rivers polluted by untreated sewage? That's the first part. And the second part is, what is your party's position regarding the energy crisis, and what is your timeline for alternative energy?
It's a very simple solution to solve the problem in this country. Wherever we go, there are streams of water running down. We need to drill boreholes in as many places as possible. We need to get water tanks. We need to get water tanks in every household to store the surplus water while we try to rehabilitate the infrastructure. The South African Property Owners Association has volunteered in the city of Johannesburg to assist in fixing up all the sewage systems so that we can be able to increase the property value, and they've decided to do it without any charge. So I encourage that we utilize the big companies to assist us in doing this. As far as the energy crisis is concerned, you have it. Here's the sun. The sun provides the energy. We have the sun. Solar heating. South Africa is endowed with the best of sunlight. If every single household has sunlight, it will allow us to be free of the grid so that the balance of the energy can be used to re-industrialize this country and to create the necessary employment. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to Mr. Gutta.
Settle down, everyone.
Thank you to Mr. Gutta. We're actually going to be taking questions from each side. So the next speaker then would be from the EFF, and that's Mr. Godwin Ratikwane. So please come forward.
Thank you very much. Not to waste your time, we have a fragmentation of vote, and you can see the arguments that have been put forward that are not going to take us anywhere. We have a very serious challenge here. We still have communities that don't have water. You've got polluted systems of water. People in Hammanskraal still don't have water. The EFF wants to do away with tender systems because they are not working. We've tried them. What the EFF needs to, or what we are planning to do, we are going to ensure that we do away with that so that the state can build capacity and provide the clean drinkable water by 2025 as per our manifesto. And that is very simple because we're going to ensure that we clean the streams and make sure that we also harvest rainwater. We also ensure that there is a proper boreholes, and where the boreholes are happening, where we are going to drill the boreholes, we are going to ensure that the water is safe enough for people to drink. And surveys and studies must be done because it is difficult to get water in the deep rural areas on pipe because of the big stands and so on, and the low population in those particular areas. So the solution is that we need to find a way to use boreholes as part of the as part of the solutions to resolve the issue in question. Then we must also ensure that we have reliable electricity, because electricity, when it's not reliable, it also affects water supply. Like you've seen, when it's constant load shedding, we also get affected. But also the EFF has a Pan-Africanist agenda. That's why we have resources, and we've got water that we're drinking is coming from Lesotho. So we need to improve such relations to make sure that Africa can be self-sustainable by ensuring that other countries that have got different other resources that can supply South Africa, the same as South Africa is able to aid them and assist them with other skills and other resources we have, including minerals and so on. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up is Al Jama, Mr. Tapelo Ahmed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, colleagues. So when we were doing our campaign in 2021, our selling point was leveling the playing field. So we've managed to do that successfully so as Al Jama. And as I want to reiterate that we are leading the metro. And we understand as Al Jama from the point in our manifesto of access to drinkable and clean water. We have demonstrated, we have put it to practicality, the issue of stabilizing water in the city of Johannesburg. And we want to replicate the model of stabilizing the water to other regions where we would have our footprint, and we're going to lead as the party. What was the second? Electricity. Oh, okay. So in the past 2 months, we were able to launch 3 power stations, and we are using an energy mixed model from the independent power producer. We understand the stakeholder engagement. It's one of the essence of clean and good governance and successful governance. So through the independent power producer, we were able to launch 3 power stations. One, which is the generator in Alexandra. The other one is in Mayfair. And the other one, it is in, yeah, I can't remember the third one. Yeah, but however, hence I said, we are going to replicate. So we are taking it slowly, a step at a time. In local government, at least we are getting our footprint. We know we have taken the city from the 2. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's important just to restate the question. Let us just go back to that question. What would you do to fix and upgrade water and sewage infrastructure and clean rivers polluted by sewage? And secondly, what is your party's position on the energy crisis, and what is the timeline for alternative sources? All right, so next up we will have Rais Mzansi, Mr. Irfan Manjra. Mangera, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. So, Rais Mzansi has a 13-page water and sanitation crisis plan. It's a 13-page document because it speaks about how we're going to address this problem. In 2022, 1 in 5 households in this country didn't have piped water. 1 in 7 lacked basic sanitation. 12 out of the 133 water service authorities were dysfunctional, or at least were operational or in excellent state. 40 are critical. And so for us, we need to have new leaders appointing boards at these water services who are capable and ethical, and you reduce the size and interference between the politicians and the boards itself so they can run independently and ensure that water is delivered. 4.4 billion rand is the amount that the Giyani water project has been spent on. That project started with a 90 million rand budget. This is a primary source of where state capture has happened. And so we're saying once again, water boards are necessary for us to fix this. We will have to repair the system. Much of our water is lost through leaks, and so we need an infrastructure plan and a maintenance plan. Part of that is also upskilling people in the local communities who can deal with the maintenance challenges. Places like Shoshanguve, Hammanskraal, etc., where this is a problem. You see, it's this kind of culture that's the cause of much of the problem. Outside of that, electricity is a big challenge. We are saying we need to have solar panels on every residential home and small businesses. And so, leader, please protect me at least. Protect me.
Excuse me. No, that's not democracy. Denying someone the right to speak, that's not democracy. That's suppressing. Your leader is going to come up, they're going to do the same thing. Going to give you extra 30 seconds, continue.
Thank you. What we also have to do is increase engagement between the private sector and public sector, so we ensure that where there's bulk infrastructure problems, like in industrial areas, water is sourced and provided for. On the electricity crisis, as I said, medium and small enterprises as well as households need to have solar panels. We need to repurpose the money the Europeans are giving us in order to actually locally source and produce solar panel infrastructure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important for us to remember that we are not only representing ourselves as South Africans, but in particular the Muslim community. And as much as we disagree with each other's views, we must have that sense of respect, because there are many people here who would not know who to vote for, and they might even vote for the party that you are proclaiming to be for. But if we can't hear what you're saying, it's of no use. So please let us behave ourselves. The next person up is the Democratic Alliance, Alex Christians.
Let's settle down, let's settle down, let's settle down. Let's settle down.
Jazakallah for that. It's quite important to
Let's settle
understand.
down, let's settle down. Please. Okay, continue.
Okay, Jazakallah for the question. The reason why we have a broken government is because of cadre deployment and hooligans like this. And that is why we need competent people with skills to deliver services. We've already shown in the Western Cape that we are capable and we are able to deliver when it comes to service delivery. We are the only party in this country that was able to ensure that there was no day zero. So when it comes to the water issue, we have a plan and we have proven it.
The longer you heckle him, the longer he's going to be on stage. Is that what you prefer to happen? So you keep quiet, you keep silent, you listen to him, he finishes, it goes back. This is in the interest of everyone, so please.
On the issue of the environment, the DA is the one that is leading when it comes to environmental controls, and we have shown that, even with the fires in the Cape. But let me just go on to the following. Those who boo us today are the very ones who have used the water cannons from Israel against your children. But you will not realize that. The latest stats when it comes to the Israeli mission that came here shows that the ANC government benefits to the value of 1.3 trillion with their business with Israel. Yet they want to talk about free Palestine. They are the hypocrites. And that is why they don't want you to listen to the Democratic Alliance, who are the only ones who can rescue South Africa. So when Councillor Naimia wants to stand up and act as a Muslim, he forgets his respect. And respect is a big thing when it comes to Islam. So that is what we as the Democratic Alliance, we can give you a proven track record of ensuring that the infrastructure in South Africa has, and also ensure that there will not be a day zero when it comes to the water crisis. When it comes to electricity, ma'am, we will partner with the private sector so that we can ensure that there is electricity given, not only from Eskom, who the ANC have pocketed all this time, but can ensure that the private sector will be able to provide for South Africa. You can keep shouting and I will keep talking, because the ANC has no respect. They are on their way out, and that is what we must remember. Jazakallah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and we have the last person. Can we all just
Settle down, settle down.
please?
Leaders, please. Can we get political leaders to please speak to their members? Please. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, let's settle down, please. Please.
Manda. Away, two. Mai, buye. Yeah, Africa. Comrades, I think what needs to happen is that we need to take our seats and we must take an objection from the floor. We must take an objection from the floor. And a decision must be made whether they are remaining or not.
Let's settle down.
If the DA must leave, no problem. But let's get an objection from the floor. Let's get an objection from the floor so that it doesn't come from the media house. Then they will raise the issue.
Let's settle down, ladies and gentlemen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to our seats. We have the way forward. We have the way forward. Go back to your seats. Sit down so that we can continue. There's a way forward. Sir, please, 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 please. Excuse me. Okay, there's a solution that's being proposed. Can we sit down so that we can hear it? Okay, settle down. There's a solution. We're proposing a solution where all of you are going to be involved in it. This is a democratic process. We are proposing a solution. Sit down. So we're going to take an objection. Let me take everyone that says going to vote without the guys going. Because that's how you do it in invasion. Please don't talk to the guys. No, we're proposing a solution. You'll be involved in being part of the solution. Sit down. There's a democratic process that's going to take place. You're going to be part of it. Settle down so that it can commence. Settle down, everyone. We want to continue. There's a democratic process that's going to be taking place, and all of us are going to be involved in it. Can we settle down and sit down? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can we please settle down so that this democratic process that's being proposed can get underway? No, a proposal has been tabled already. We want to present it to the floor. All right, let's settle down, everyone, so that we can continue. Let's settle down so that we can continue. There's a democratic process that's going to be taking place in a few, but it won't happen if we keep on heckling and shouting. All right, can we continue? Can we continue? All right. So in the interest of democracy, there's a proposal. It's either we end today's engagement, we all go home, we leave here empty-handed because we didn't get the full presentation from the political representatives here, or we let the Democratic Alliance be part of this dialogue. No, this is the proposal that's being tabled. Do we pack up and leave, or do we continue and include the Democratic Alliance in a democratic process? All right, I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it, 45 seconds, and then I'll come back. You'll give me an answer. All right, let's settle down so that we can continue. Everyone, please take your seats. Miriam. All right, let's all settle down so that we can continue, please. Continue.
Okay, thank you very much. Please let us allow the Allied Movement for Change to present the answer to their question. Inayat Wadi. Okay, and just a reminder again. we are talking about sanitation, water, and the energy crisis.
As the AM4C, we have recognized the fact that water is about the most important resource. This is a resource right across the entire world. And South Africa at one point in time had the cleanest, purest drinking water. How did we get to the stage? How do we get to the stage where people need to walk for kilometers for water? And this water resource needs to be managed, but more importantly, it's about institutional weaknesses again. It is about infrastructure development. The amount of water that we are losing underground over and over again. And these are priorities as far as AM4C is concerned, is to make sure that these institutional weaknesses are rectified, and more importantly, looking at private-public partnerships with regards to improving the water infrastructure. On the issue of energy, once again, Eskom at one point in time was voted the best utility company in the world. How did we get here 30 years later? At this point in time, encourage the local production of renewable energy. And since our climate is conducive, we need to look at solar as an option, but also more importantly, when we look at the world, when we look at the reduction of emissions right across the entire world, South Africa has got the highest quality of coal. We need to have a combination of coal-fired power stations and also looking at recommissioning the existing coal-fired coal power stations. Also, at the same time, we
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the second round of questions. Hopefully this time we'll listen a bit more. Oh, all right. No, go ahead, sorry.
Thank you very much. I'll get straight into it. The energy mix is key to economic priorities and economic development. Right now, we have 61% reduction in load shedding in comparison to last year this time. And that is because of all of our interventions as an ANC-led government. The first intervention is around the removal of the threshold of the IPP. That's the independent power producing. That means that we are able to create more generation of electricity as well as the solar panels that are on people's roofs. Now, the reality of the matter is that renewable energy, along with a carbon base, is unfortunately where we need to be. But what we are seeing is maintenance that is paying off. We're seeing unplanned capacity loss being improved, and we're seeing less breakdowns. Even now, there are 18 gigawatts of renewable energy in the pipeline over the next 5 years. And so the reality is load shedding will become a thing of the past, and that is because of an ANC-led government. Chris Yelland, who is one of the most critical analysts in the country, has admitted that power is much better than it was before. But let me speak to water. In 1994, 6 out of 10 South Africans had access to clean drinking.
Can we settle down? We won't finish. We'll be here the whole night.
I can stay the whole night. I can stay the whole night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's try and listen to one another so that we can finish and we can all go home. Wait a bit.
Right. Here's another reality. Lodian doesn't have water because of the DA-led administration in the city of Tshwane. They refuse to upgrade the reservoir in this area because they are racist. When the water goes out in Centurion, No one bats an eyelid. The water comes back on. When the water goes off in Olivenhout Bush, when the water goes out in Atteridgeville, Mamelodi, or Lodium, nothing happens. And the reality is, it is because of a DA-led administration, who, by the way, is bankrupt. Even now, when the lights go out, it is because of pure municipal lack of infrastructure development. Whether that's because of leakage or whether that's just because they're racist, the reality is the ANC delivers services.
Yeah, I just want to explain to them. Okay, can we just
Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down. If we continue in this, no, there'll be time for you to answer a question. Not now. There'll be a time. Respect my program. There'll be a time for you to ask questions. All right. Okay, let's settle down so that we can move on. Yeah, you engaging me like this is not helping anyone. Sit down. Yes, everyone, sit down. Let's settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, this exercise will be null and void if we're going to intimidate each other. So if you all settle down, we can move on to the second round of question. If it doesn't, then say go palezozo. We close it. We'll go home. All right, we're going to continue with the second round of questions. Can we settle down and have a fruitful engagement, please?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, before we start with the second round of questions, I just want everybody to understand that we here on the basis of the contestation and the veracity of ideas and policies. There is no other way that we are going to find out what each party stands for. Okay, this round is going to be about Palestine. The question now is on the stance of Palestine.
All right. No, listen. No. No, as much as you want me to listen, can you also listen to me? Party representatives are all sitting down. No. There'll be a time for questions from the floor. We have it on our program. Let's sit down. Calm down. Chief, you're supposed to be a leader of a political party. You're definitely not leading. Please sit down. Sit down, Chief. All right. So there were two. We gave two suggestions. Do we wrap up this engagement, go home, or do we continue in a democratic fashion where we respect each other's views and opinions? Do we go? Must we wrap it up? No, all of us, we go home. There's no engagement. You don't want to listen. You don't want to talk. Party representative.
Why they're screaming?
No, I am responding the way I'm responding.
You are responding. You don't responding the way
we don't just in front of everyone just now. We don't counsel everyone come.
But I've been raising my hand to call it. When I raise my hand to call it. I came and I spoke to you individually. I spoke to you individually. I spoke to you. I spoke to another gentleman, 4 people individually. So don't say I didn't just start. I've been.
No, you did say you want to
I'm saying to you, comrades.
Yes.
Guys,
We came here with very people. We let them leave their families. I'm not going to suffer for the DA
This
nonsense.
is what we want. We want to hear now the questions of Palestine. We want to hear what they are saying. They must know what is in
But we know their policy.
Amandla! 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 Away to! Away to! Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. Listen. Hey, Manier, let me talk now. Come on. Let me talk. No, let me talk. Listen. There's two things here. There's two things here. One, listen. Mariam. Okay, guys, one thing is clear that the DA, just wait, keep quiet, please, so you can at least hear me. Okay, can we have silence? Yes, keep quiet. Allow me to speak. Don't be rude. Listen, comrade, that's what I'm going to say. Comrade. Discipline, comrade. Discipline.
All right. This is what's going to happen.
Discipline.
We've come to a conclusion, right? We're going to open questions from the floor, and then we're going to wrap up the engagement. Agreed. Let's settle down, sit down, respect each other.
That's what we want.
You want the mic?
Look. Comrade. This is a salam.
Free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Ladies and gentlemen, as the duly elected ward councillor of this area that gave the DA a beating in this ward, they are not welcome in my ward. I beat the DA in this ward. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, we're going to be taking questions from the floor. Let's settle down, everyone, please.
You know what?
Let's settle down. Everyone sit.
You know what?
So
It's
that
gonna
we
be-
give everyone an opportunity
My
to
brother,
speak, all right?
It's going to be so boring. You know what? We have a lot of questions, specifically on human rights and dignity. Now we know, listen, the people in blue, the people in blue, your leader, Genocide Steenhuisen is a shame on South Africa. Is a shame, right? Listen, no, we must straighten this out now. As you can see, the DA is extremely unpopular in this area. I am sure. Please, there's one speaker, please. Okay, now, respectfully, I'm sure you've realized that you are not popular in this area. Now, there's two things before. Please just wait. There's two things. One. Let me tell this. Let me just put it in context. I want to first, my friend, the EFF, you guys, I want to salute your president, Malema, my brother. Can you listen? Sorry, can you listen? I want to salute Malema, President Malema of the EFF, for introducing the motion in Parliament, right? Where they asked for the removal of the Zionist embassy, right? Number one. So we commend the actions of the EFF. Let's put it in context. Now, I also want to say, and currently our team
from South Africa is at the international ICJ. ICJ, where they've put Israel in the dock. Now, our President Ramaphosa, Naledi Pandor, Dr. Naledi Pandor, right? And the South African government needs to be commended. Now, when the vote was put in Parliament, this group here, when the vote was put in Parliament, they sided with Israel. They sided with Israel. They sided with genocide. They sided with murder. This group here. So we want to take at least one question. We want to take one question for the DA. Where is he? He's gone. He's gone. Hamagatle. If you are gone, you are gone. We want to take Salam Media. Where's the team? While they are caucusing, let's put it into context. While they are caucusing, Israel is combating, my dear, Israel is killing men, women, and children. And your leader is supporting Israel. Your leader. All right. Okay, give me one thing. Listen. Okay. Can you ask your leader